WTF. What's the filibuster? Don't go away because I'm going to explain to you what the filibuster is and, more importantly, why it should not exist. Pero un momento, before we get there, are you not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? Come on, click that subscribe button below and turn on the bell so you get notified every time I post a new video about US politics. Because I absolutely love geeking out on what's going on and understanding it and sharing it with you so that you're better informed and less overwhelmed. By the way, I'm Sylvia from Tono, Latino. In the Senate, the filibuster is an attempt to delay or block a vote on a piece of legislation or a confirmation. But we have to back up a minute and explain how the Senate passes a bill. When a senator or a group of senators introduce a new bill, it goes to the appropriate committee for discussions and there are hearings, amendments, etc. If the majority of the committee votes in favor, the bill moves to the Senate floor for debate. Now, to pass, once a bill gets to a vote, it needs a simple majority of 51 votes. But here's the catch. There needs to be a debate first, and it takes 60 votes, not 51, to cut off the debate. That means that you need 60 people to agree to hold a vote on a bill, even if you only need 51 people to pass the same bill. So basically, that's why you need a 60-vote supermajority to really pass these bills in the Senate. Super frustrating, right? If there's a proposal and 59 people are in favor, it won't pass because it doesn't have the 60-vote requirement to agree to a vote on it. What? There have been more than 2,000 filibusters since 1917, but about half of them have been in just the last 12 years. And if you're frustrated because government doesn't pass enough bills, this is one of the reasons why. In the old days, filibusters involved long speeches. So imagine a senator trying to block a vote from moving forward by refusing to yield the floor.
I rise today to begin to filibuster John Brennan's nomination for the CIA. I just hope that this won't be swept under the rug.
The longest filibuster in history was by South Carolina Senator Strom Thurmond. I hope I said that right. When he held the floor for 24 hours and 18 minutes in opposition to the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But nowadays, they don't even have to do that. They can just send a text or an email. And if a group of 41 or more senators simply threatens a filibuster, that's it. The bill is not moving forward. But I do have to say, there are exceptions to the filibuster rule. The annual budget reconciliation process requires a simple majority and cannot be filibustered. Also, in 2013, Democrats changed the Senate rules to allow confirmations of executive branch positions, including the cabinet and non-Supreme Court judicial nominees, with a simple majority. 4 years later, Senate Republicans decided to add Supreme Court appointments to that list. That's exactly how Trump got all 3 of his nominees into the Supreme Court because none of them got 60 votes. Those changes that I mentioned are what's called the nuclear option, overriding a rule to overcome obstruction by the minority party. Do you see why the filibuster is ridiculous? If you agree with me and find this video useful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. But back to the filibuster and why it should make your blood boil. The Senate itself is not a fair representation of the people. A tiny little state like Wyoming, which doesn't even have 600,000 people, gets 2 senators. The same number as California, a state with 39.5 million people. California has over 68 times as many residents as Wyoming. 68 times. 68. But both get 2 senators each. So something like the filibuster just makes the problem of representation even worse. Because today, the 26 states with the least amount of people are home to only 17% of the US population. But they get 52 senators. 26 states times 2 senators per state. Yes, I am actually saying that over half of the Senate represents only 17% of the US population. You heard me right. So that means that a group of senators that represent not the minority, a small minority, less than 20% of the country, can block bills that have huge public support. Democrats in the Senate represent over 43 million more people than Republicans in the Senate. 43 million more people. Is that up or what? And that's exactly why we see more and more people talking about getting rid of the filibuster. Even people who used to defend it, like Delaware Democratic Senator Tom Carper, are changing their minds. In a recent op-ed, he said he had enough. It has become clear to me that if the filibuster is standing in the way of protecting our democracy, then the filibuster isn't working for our democracy. Basically, it's gotta go. Senate Republicans have used the filibuster multiple times to block voting rights legislation, even though the 2020 general election gave us the highest voter turnout in over a century. Many states are proposing and passing legislation to make it harder for people to vote. And in the states, they only need simple majorities. We could address that at the federal level with voting rights legislation in the United States Congress. But that doesn't work well for Republicans. You see, the system is designed to favor Republicans. Why? Because they mainly care about two things: financial bills and judiciary appointments. The two things that only need a simple majority to pass in the Senate. Meanwhile, the Democrats want to protect civil rights, create a basic social safety net, invest in infrastructure, or use the federal government to, regulate businesses. All things that require 60 votes to pass. It is messed up. Calm down. If you agree with me and agree that this tactic is messed up and needs to go, click the link below to demand that the Senate eliminate the filibuster and pass voting rights legislation ASAP. And remember, hit that red subscribe button below, and I'll see you again soon.